Hi everyone, my name is Ahsan and I'm an expat living in Germany since the past 5 years. I came here to do my master's in biomedical engineering, and after finishing my studies, I found a job and I started working in a company. And like the majority of expats living in Germany, when I started working, I also thought that I was throwing away my money by living in a rented house, and not buying a house in Germany was an opportunity that I was wasting. I should buy a house where my rent would work as my mortgage payment. But my mindset changed when the pandemic hit and everything got closed in March 2020. And that is why in this video I'm going to talk about what you should consider before buying a house in Germany. But before I continue, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button, as it really helps me out a lot. Okay, there are many cases where buying a house in Germany would be the best thing that you could do. But that said, in this video, I'm going to talk about 6 points that I think that you should consider before buying a house in Germany. Point number 1, not knowing about the other investment opportunities in Germany. Before the pandemic hit, I was passively looking for apartments in my city. I had also placed an offer in an apartment that I thought was really good and the price was really amazing, but that offer got rejected. But in March 2020, when everything got closed, I thought that it wasn't the correct time to make a large financial decision because of the uncertain times. And I started looking into other ways to start investing my money. I researched about the investment opportunities in Germany and I decided to start investing in the stock market. I learned a little bit about how the stock market works, what you should need to do, what are the requirements before starting investing in the stock market, and I started with 500 euros. I kept on adding some funds on a monthly basis, and within a year I got a profit of about 30% on my investments. You can have a detailed look about my investments in this video. I also started looking into cryptocurrencies and started investing in Ethereum and Bitcoin. And if you want to know about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, I've also made a video on that. If you want to know more about the investment opportunities available in Germany, I have made a complete video here. I've also written a beginner's guide to investing in Germany. If you want to download it, I'll put a link in the description below. Point number 2 is the long-term plans. If you're an expat, chances are that you're not certain about your future in Germany. Maybe you want to work here for a couple of years and you want to go back to your home country after those years. Maybe you're someone who just wants to change their nationality, get the German passport and move to another country where they're speaking English language or another language in a couple of years. Then it's not a good idea to invest in real estate. At this point, you might be thinking that you can invest in a real estate property and you can sell it when you're moving out of the city or you're moving out of the country, but that is not as simple as it seems. Did you know that the German word for real estate is Immobilie, and Immobilie directly translates to immobile? That is why selling a property is as difficult as buying one, and you do not want to sell a property at a loss. Point number 3 is costs for buying real estate. Did you know that when you're looking at your favorite real estate website and you find something that's reasonable and is within your price range, the price that is given on the website as Kauf price is not the price that you will have to pay once you buy this property. You have to pay between 8 to 16% additional costs when you're buying a property. These costs include brokerage commissions, which range between 3.5% to 7.5%, real estate transfer fees, which is 5%, notary fees, which is 1.5%, and land register entry, which is 0.5% of the real estate value. So a 300,000 euro apartment would actually cost you 330,000 euros, including these 10% additional costs. And on top of that, if you want a professional to inspect the house that you're thinking of buying, you will have to pay up to 1% of the value of the property to the inspector. Not to mention the renovation costs when you move in, and the property tax and the maintenance costs after buying the property. While selling, you have to pay a capital gains tax of 25% if you sell the property within 10 years of buying it. Additionally, you might have to pay for getting energy certification, appraisal costs, marketing costs if you are self-marketing, and broker's costs if you are selling through a broker. And most importantly, early repayment penalty that you have to pay to the bank in order to cancel your loan with them. Point number 4 is getting a loan. Talking about getting loans, if you do not have a permanent residence, you cannot get a loan from a German bank. Full stop. Doesn't matter if your job contract is full-time or not, if you do not have a permanent residence, the banks will not give you a loan. Even if you have a permanent residence, there's no guarantee that a bank will give you a loan or at least give you favorable terms if you do not put down a recent down payment. Banks in Germany generally prefer to have a 20% down payment, which in our example of a 300,000 euros apartment would actually cost between 66,000 to 70,000 euros depending on the additional costs. A friend of mine found the perfect apartment and he was getting a really good deal. He had a blue card and an unlimited job contract, but his application got cancelled just because that he did not have a permanent residence. He was supposed to get his permanent residence in a couple of months, so the bank employees said that once you get your permanent residence, come back to us, we will give you a loan, otherwise we cannot give you one. Point number 5 is getting a good deal. Because of the really low interest rates, the prices for real estates have gone to the moon. The average price of an apartment rose by 11.9% in 2020, following a rise of 11.5% in 2019, 6.78% in 2018, and 4.45% in 2017. And because of those inflated prices, most of the people have been priced out of good locations. Professional real estate investors grab up every single good deal that is available before a normal person who's looking to buy a home even gets to know about that opportunity, because they have a large amount of capital readily available and banks are willing to give them loans easier as compared to a single individual who's just looking for their first home. According to a study by the Swiss bank UBS, the real estate prices in Frankfurt and Munich are the most overheated in the world. Considering that if there is a real estate bubble which bursts, do you think that right now is the right time to buy a property? Will the property keep on appreciating in the midterm, or will you see a loss in the midterm and maybe break even at a long term? And the final point number 6 is, are you buying just because of fear of missing out? Do you think not buying a property right now is a missed opportunity and you think that you are missing out by not buying a property? If that is true, I think that is not a good reason for trying to invest in real estate. The point of this video is not saying that renting is better than buying a property in Germany. It's okay to be living in a rented apartment or a rented house, because a majority of people living in Germany are living in rented houses or apartments. As long as you have properly diversified your money and your money is not rotting away, staying in your bank, and you have properly diversified it into the stock market or cryptocurrency or collectibles or any other thing. And if you find a good deal in the meanwhile, you can put an offer on that apartment or a house and buy it. So if you like my video, please hit the like button, share this video if you found it useful, and consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you in the next video. Bleib gesund.